Twicecoaster lane 2. We switched tracks from lane 1 over to lane 2, and we're going to pick up with Pitter Pat just to keep it going. I'll loop back around to check out Ice Cream though after we listen to Pitter Pat and Next Page. So far, like I was saying, on Twicecoaster, Ponytail is the sort of standout type of track with everything it has going on. Pitter Pat, let's see, from the title alone, I'm expecting some sort of rich percussion with lots of very engaging sort of rhythmic patterns and stuff, but let's see, because you can't really ever tell from the beginning, like you don't know for certain until you hear it. But let's check it out.
밀당 같은 거 못하니까 조금 이해해. 그냥 너라서 좋으니까 바라봐줄래? 다가가 볼까? 도망가 버리면 어떡해? 그냥 A부터 G까지 모두 머리가 아파. 왜 그래 이런 내가 아닌데. Turn it up 늘 그랬던 것처럼 다시 네가 널 붙잡고 얘기할 거야. 피로패 터질 듯한 심장이 baby. 늘 보면 숨이 막혀. Help me baby. 피로패 사랑해 한마디를 건네. You wanna be my all my 내 옆에 있어줘. 나를 보면 정말 계속 말도 하지 마. 세상이 다 듣겠어. 내 구광되는 심장 소리. 널 신경 쓰여. 그냥 그저 네가 보고 싶어. 아무 말도 말고 물어보지 말고 그냥 와서 날 안아줘. 피로패 터질 듯한 심장이 baby. Oh baby. 널 보면 숨이 막혀. Help me baby. 피로패 사랑해 한마디를 건네. You wanna be my all my 내 옆에 있어줘.
So okay, the percussion, I wasn't necessarily wrong, but it wasn't the percussion, it was the synth, right? The percussion was fairly straightforward. It kept that pretty consistent rhythms. Again, double stops used in the kick. There are probably a dozen different synth sounds in this track. By the by the end of the first verse, I was like, okay, I need to try and count how many different synth sounds there are, and it's pretty close to a dozen, from like the bass up into some synth keys, all these little hits here and there, the synth risers, these, I mean, just like it's a kind of like a storm of synth sounds that's going on. But there is a great deal of syncopation going on. I thought the second verse of rap section was really, really fun. I really enjoyed the rhythms going on in the rap parts there. The chorus section is incredibly hooky. It's the chorus lines, the vocal lines are absolute strong hooks. The pre-chorus section, that's a really nice space that it sort of creates when it sort of shifts to this sort of lo-fi hip-hop type of a groove that's going on. And the bridge section was probably the most interesting part. I mean, it was so heavily syncopated in the bridge section, especially the first like half. Not until it starts to build up again towards the end, and there are some percussive parts that come in and really start to give you like the subdivisions. They're all accented, so you can really lock in the count there. But before there, everything is so spread out. It's a free fall. It's the loop de loop in the Twicecoaster. It's this part where you're sort of upside down and weightless for a moment, right? And it's a really fantastic type of space that they've created there. It's fun. It's like, it's really, really. But I was not expecting such an onslaught of different synth sounds to come on, and it very, very strongly right in the beginning. Did all these different, but there's 12, 13, maybe 14 different synth sounds that are going on in this track, and they're not all going on at the same time, like constantly. That would be too chaotic. Like it would be incredibly saturated, oversaturated, and very chaotic. But the way that this is syncopated and everything's sort of broken up, and you get the occasional, like at the right time in the right space, either left or right, or something a little bit higher or lower in pitch, you get a little synth hit that comes in and accents a certain beat within a certain measure. And it's incredibly fun because of that. It's like everything and the kitchen sink as far as synth is going, but it's not doing it in a wasteful manner. It's done very, very cleverly. It's a very, very sort of ingenious type of composition here to use that much synth in it. But still have something that's like has a very definite groove, and stays fun throughout, like from start to finish. That bridge section is really fun. It's a really, really fun part of this song. It's good, man. It's good. Pitter Pat is that's fun also. It's incredibly sort of funky and just it's quite a different feel from there's these. It's weird because all of these tracks have very different feels to them, but they do complement each other in a way. Like, they all fit together nicely, actually. But for them having such different sort of tones, I think a lot of it is in the rhythms, especially the percussive rhythms. A lot of that double stop stuff that's going on, it becomes this continuity, this sort of through line, even though we're getting all of these very, very different, highly contrasting type of overall sounds and styles in each song. But it's all tied together nicely by the percussive rhythms, for sure. Okay, so moving on to next page. Next page. Okay. Well, so story began. Page 2. And now we're at Twicecoaster, and we're going on to the next page.
어제 몇 번이고 연습했는데 지금 내 표정과 말도 못하게 두근두근해 나 들키면 어쩌나 태연한 척 눈치채지 못하게 혹시 네가 알면 좀 난 몰라 네 발걸음 맞춰도 난 몰래 어쩜 그리 걷는 것도 고와 안돼 팡팡 심장 터질 것 같아 Baby you 나를 생각하고 있을까 너무너무 좋아 알던 말도 더 boy 이젠 좀 보여줘 내 맘 그래서 꾹꾹 잡아줄래 천천히 next page 만드는 레시피에 멘트 나와 있잖아 나를 보는 미소가 like crazy 너를 보는 내맘 너만 보게 할 거야 like baby 너만 아는 내맘 원래 난 항상 다 빨간불이야 근데 오늘은 좀 달라 초록불이야 불도 안 들어와 누가 좀 말려봐 어쩜 좋아 보는 분홍불이네 이건 내가 봐도 좀 심각해 친구들도 날 보고 걱정해 걱정들이 내맘 몰아줄까 몰라 단단 내맘 겨냥할 거야 Baby you 나를 생각하고 있을까 너무너무 좋아 알던 말도 더 boy 이젠 좀 알아줘 내맘 그래서 꾹꾹 잡아줄래 천천히 next page 만드는 레시피에 멘트 나와 있잖아 나를 보는 미소가 like crazy 너를 보는 내맘 너만 보게 할 거야 like baby 너만 아는 내맘 베베고 있는 내 말 날 베베라고 불렀나 가고 싶지 않은 sweet dream 두근두근한 내 맘 더 두근두근하게 날꽉 안아줄 수 없니 나를 보는 미소가 like crazy 너를 보는 내맘 너만 보게 할 거야 like baby 너만 아는 내맘
So this is one of those songs that has a really strong contrast between its sections. Coming in on the crazy drum fill, like I was like, oh, okay, sort of rattled, right? And it in the you still have double stop rhythms going on, but this time it's like in the bass. It was interesting because the first verse, the bass sound it's a very much a played bass, right? It's somebody like playing the bass line on a bass guitar. Second verse comes around and that's switched out for a synth bass, like an 808. But that double stop rhythm is present there. It comes like at the end of the phrase in the bass line. The change ups between each, from verse to sort of pre-chorus to chorus, they're very, very strong. Like the rhythmic shifts that take place. This the percussion here tends to do a lot of that more prominent, like accented 2 and 4, second and fourth beats. I mean, so you get that one ta 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 1 2 3 4, right? But there was a I think it's chorus section, right? You have the synth rhythm that's going on left, bam 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 bam, and then you have the backing vocal harmonizations going on in the right, and it goes bam 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 bam, and when it moves down, right, when the synth rhythm section drops down there. It goes bum bum bum. That's when you get ooh ah, bum 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 ooh ah. Like it's a really really cool sort of arrangement for the rhythms that you have, because you have rhythm in the mix, the synth rhythm sound in the mix, and you have the vocal rhythm sound that's going on, and it's quite the synth is very very strong in this track. So and not as synth rich, like there aren't as many synth parts as in Pitter Pat, but the parts that are in this song are extremely extremely strong, but they're not like overbearing or anything. The bridge section was very sweet for like I don't know how, you know, how else to describe it. It's a very very sweet sound. The vocal melody that was going on was very very sort of warm, right? And then these sort of like down tempo arpeggios were going on. These synth you know, bing bong boom, bing bong boom, right? These little synth tones that were arpeggiating over the chords. And then as it approached the end of the bridge section, there was a incredibly soulful bass lick that went on. It's like, so there's this sweet warm vocal that's going on, then there's this really light like sparkly type of arpeggio that's going on over the chords, and then this switching. Remember, it was played bass in the first verse, synth bass in the second verse, and then in this bridge section, this wonderful soulful bass line, this lick just comes in right at the end. Like it really 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 just wonderful. This, and it was this really just the sweetest sound, you know, that, man, it was so good. It was so good. The bridge on this was like, oh man, it just hits different, like, because again the contrast in this song is throughout its different sections, right? Like each one is like really really distilled in what it's doing, and that bridge section coming on as such a nice like sweet soft type of thing, it was really really wonderful, just what that bridge section did. And then back into the, you know, the sort of chorus section rhythms for the outro. Quite a unique song for sure. I think like the other tracks sort of, each track is different, but they have very sort of definite grooves, definite feels, you know, like they do each song does its thing from start to finish. So this track here stands out because it has such a big contrast between the sections within it. Like this is a song that gives you sort of a real change up feels as it moves from its verse into its pre-chorus into its chorus and so on. And so that's so it's stands out in that regard so far, you know, to the other songs on the album, but is quite a nice track in and of itself, you know, to be included on the album. It just sort of, it changes up that dynamic in a way, kind of, you know. It gives you a little bit of a different flavor, a bit of a different taste there. But the bridge section, man, it's so good. That's a place I just, you know, want to kind of stay in for a while. Okay, so now I'm gonna loop back up to Ice Cream, and this will basically conclude both the lanes of Twicecoaster, both lane 1 and lane 2. So let's check out Ice Cream. What does this say? This says nok yo, something like that.
말하고 싶었지만 하지 못했죠. 그때가 보았던 어떤 것보다 더 주고 싶은 내 맘 알아주길 바래요. 그것만 아무것도 바라지 않나요. Oh baby 혹시나 네가 날 기다릴까 혹시나 네가 날 보고플까 그대 좋아하는 것만 생각해봐요. 어떡하죠. 날 녹이는 아이스크림보다 더 달콤한 Baby 그대 말투 그대 미소로 살며시 녹아요. 그대만 보고 있죠. 사랑한다고 말해줘요. 날 녹이는 아이스크림보다 달콤한 그대 목소리가 들려오죠. 향기로운 꽃을 찾는 내 나비가 되어줘요. 그대 하루를 보내고 하루 지나면 조금 더 같이 있긴 아쉬움만 남네요. 그대도 너 다르지 않겠죠. Oh baby 혹시나 네가 날 기다릴까 혹시나 네가 날 보고플까 그대 좋아하는 것만 생각해봐요. 어떡하죠. 날 녹이는 아이스크림보다 더 달콤한 Baby 그대 말투 그대 미소로 살며시 녹아요. 그대만 보고 있죠. 사랑한다고 말해줘요. 날 녹이는 아이스크림보다 달콤한 그대 목소리가 들려오죠. 향기로운 꽃을 찾는 내 나비가 되어줘요. 그대 우리 둘이서만 그대 품에서만 늘 설레이고 싶은 내 맘 많아요. 날 녹이는 아이스크림보다 더 달콤한 Baby 그대 입술 그대 손길로 그대만 보여요. 눈을 꼭 감아봐요. 사랑한다고 말할게요. 날 녹이는 아이스크림보다 달콤한 그대 목소리가 들려오죠. 향기로운 꽃을 찾는 내 나비가 되어줘요. 그대
Just as I was talking about soulful bass lines and stuff, this it kind of reminds me of Donut, actually, right? What is a man? What an incredibly soulful sort of R&B jazz type of song. But first of all, the instrumental work that's going on in this track, right? Just the wah on the guitar right there, wah, 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 wah. Like, oh man, all throughout every part, it's just got that. It's a very clean guitar sound, but they're using a wah effect, and it's so nice. It's so soft. I was talking about the bridge section, right, for next page, having these warm, bright, sparkly, soft type of sounds, and saying that that's a space I would like to stay in. Well, that's what ice cream is. Like, it's sweet, right? It's very sweet, like ice cream. The vocal work is gorgeous on this. It's incredibly incredible, just soft, warm vocals going on. That what is it? I think it's the chorus, sort of the way it wraps up with that beautiful high note, right? It's very sweet, but it's very warm, right? So like ice cream, it's sweet, but this song is actually very warm, I would say. At least it gives me sort of a warm feel. But it's incredibly smooth. It's incredibly rich and smooth and sweet and warm. Just a fantastic instrumentation on it. The bass, again, the bass parts on this, man, it's really good. There's little licks right throughout the entire track, in the guitar parts and in the bass parts. The drums, whoever's playing the drums, right? It's very, very nice groove, so stable, so consistent all throughout. And then some more of that electric piano type of sound, right? Everything's very clean. There ain't no distortion on anything here. It's as good as Ponytail was for being this like metal type of rock infused track or whatever. This is the clean soul jazz like equivalent of that, right? Because of its wonderful instrumentation. The vocals are, man, if the track is ice cream, then the vocals are like the syrup over the top of it, right? They're the sweetest part of the song for sure. This is the track where it's like, okay, the girls are gonna do their thing with the vocals. The upper registers are so good here, man. They're so good. Just these high notes, these falsettos, these, it's the sweetest, richest, most delicate type of touch to the way it's performed. It's wow. That since I didn't go in order, I mean, like I wouldn't, if I was listening to the album straight through, I wouldn't have normally stopped on this track, right? Or this wouldn't be the conclusion of it. But because I wanted to check out both lane 1 and lane 2 in the way that I did, and decided to go down the track list and then come back around to check out this. It's a unique type of experience for hearing it in this order, but it's quite a sweet spot to arrive at, I guess you could say, right? Like if this is where the ride sort of ends here. It's quite a sweet spot. It's very endearing. This is also like Ponytail was, right? I'm thinking about the tour, the way that they're playing these shows, and they have a live band. If you got to hear this live with a band playing these parts in the mix, it's incredible, man. It's incredible. It's made for that, just like Ponytail is also. It's a fantastic sort of ballady type of song, very reminiscent of Donut, like I say. I heard Donut a while ago. I heard it before I heard Ice Cream, but that's kind of what it reminded me of, with a lot of the sounds, in the mix and everything. But it's man, it was too good, man. It's too good. Twice is they just too, again, one of these groups that has just the best B-sides, right? Yes, the A-sides, of course they're A-sides for a reason, right? Like they're A-sides for a point. And the point is that they're good, and the point is that they're popular, and they're hooky, and they're catchy, and they're fun, and they're all of these good things. But the B-sides will take you farther. They'll bring you to deeper points of, in all of those different aspects, and the things that you enjoy about it, the things that make the A-sides even that good to begin with. The B-sides will bring you into deeper and deeper areas of those same enjoyable elements and qualities of the different songs. And so, okay, this completes the Twicecoaster experience. And so, okay. Signal. Yeah, I really want, because Signal's one of my favorite. Like, it's one of my favorite A-sides. I love everything about it. I love the song. I love the video. I love absolutely everything about it. So, okay, next album, it's gonna be Signal, man. It's gonna be Signal. That's gonna be fun. But Twicecoaster, though, it's an incredibly good album. The path, the journey, the evolution of the group is starting to, be fleshed out. It's starting to become very apparent, and I'm hearing it, and I'm seeing, exactly what it is and everything. And it's really incredible, man. Even at this point, just from the story begins to Twicecoaster, right? Just 2 years in, at the most, and it's like they've already developed and grown and just reached new levels, and it's still the beginning. Like, this is really still the beginning. If we're just looking at this discography the way that it is, right, we're really still right at the start, and they've already sort of like leveled up to an incredible degree. And man, it's okay. Well, next album is going to be Signal, and that's going to be a very good time.